Hi guys! Welcome to our monthly stock market drop. Ang PSEI ay nag-close 6,324, up siya ng 74.61 or 1.19%. Value turnover nasa 7.29 billion at may net foreign selling of around 1.19 billion pesos. So kung makikita nyo yung year-to-date average ay nasa 6.69 lang. So mas mataas yung turnover nung Friday, October 30. But year-to-date, ang net foreign is lumalabas pa rin or accumulated na 111.53 billion pesos yung lumabas na foreigners. So anyway, let me give my short-term and long-term view of the PSEI. So, unahin muna natin yung long-term view ko. So, this is the Philippine Stock Exchange Index chart. So, kung napansin nyo, napakita ko na siya previously in my videos. And ang target ko is 12,100 by July 2036. So, paano ko siya nakuha? This is actually, tung wave 5 is equal lang siya sa wave 3. But wave 5 can be longer than wave 3. Ang wave 5 kasi hindi siya dapat mas maliit dito sa wave 3 at saka wave 1. So on conservative note, syempre, ginawa ko lang siyang same as wave 3. So, yon. And syempre, kailangan nyo ding malaman na during crisis is yun yung pinakamura yung mga stocks. Because ang price earnings ratio ay nasa around 8 times nung Asian financial crisis. Global financial crisis nasa 9 times. At nung coronavirus or nung na-reach niya yung 4,039.15 ay nasa 8.37. And of course, please take note of this, yung all-time high PER ay nasa 22.67. So kapag malapit na siyang or more than 22 na siya, it's time to risk off. At kapag closer siya to around 8 na PER, it's time to buy. So actually, nag-buy ako last March 25, 2020. Doon ako nag-build ng portfolio ko. So anyway, and then let's move on to this one. Meron pa akong papakitang another one. So aside from doon is tingnan naman natin yung performance ng PSEI during the global financial crisis at saka ng Asian financial crisis. So kung mapapansin nyo, kinuha ko yung highest return ng global financial crisis at ng Asian financial crisis. So, in-average ko siya and minultiply ko siya ng pinaka-low ng yung 4,039.15 plus itong average growth for the last two crises. So, that's a possible target of 17,962.43 or around nasa 17,900 yung long-term target ko. That could possibly within the next 9 years. Ito, kung yung sa Elliott Wave is 2036, ito naman 9 years. So, possibly by 2029. So, yun yung long-term target ko. Kaya long-term bullish ako sa PSEI. So, next is, ano naman yung short-term target ko sa PSEI. So, ang PSEI, short-term target ko is, kuhanin na lang natin to, link na to. So, ang ginamit ko dito is actually the 1 month. So, kung mapapansin nyo, this is actually a head and shoulder. And then, hinit niya to around the 4,600 area. So, that's actually yung height nitong. Tas, nilagay ko lang siya dito. Pero, ang nakikita kong resistance is nasa around the 6,800 and support at around 5,800 area. Kung mag-breakout sa 6.8, possibly will retest the around the 8,100 area, or actually that's the close to almost high. And of course, I don't think na i-retest pa niya tong around the 4.6 area, but if ever mag-breakout siya dito sa 5.8, possibly this 4.6, but I think this is less chance na mangyari ulit na i-retest itong 4.6 area, in my opinion. So I think that's it. Now let's move on to, we will not go to the most actively traded stocks, but we will analyze it based on sector index. But before that, let me share you my portfolio. So this is my portfolio or financial assets portfolio. So kung mapapansin nyo, I'm 75% in cryptocurrencies. Actually, I'm holding cryptocurrencies, and I'm also trading commodities and global indices. So that's the majority of it. And then meron akong instead of nilagay ko sa bank, nilagay ko siya sa kooperatiba. So that's members contribution and savings. So that's about 9.15% of my total financial portfolio. And then kung mapapansin nyo, naglagay din ako sa Philippine stocks noong March 25, 2020. So naglabas ako ng capital, but that capital also came from my cryptocurrency profit. Kasi diba mapansin nyo, this is 75% of my total portfolio. So, yung Philippine stock ay nasa around 15.38%. And kung makikita nyo, cash in bank ko is wala pang 1%. And plano ko sanang mag-add ng REIT nun, kaso hindi ko nabasa yung Ayala REIT. So, hindi ako kumuha kasi hindi ko naman siya nabasa. But anyway, let's see kung mag-a-add pa ako dyan. So now, magpunta naman tayo dito sa Philippine stocks composition ko. Anyway, I think na-share ko na to last time. I-share ko lang siya ulit. And then, after nyan, ay close ko na to. I think pati to. After nyan, ay i-analyze natin siya per sector. So, close na natin to. Bagal. So, eto siya. So, eto lang yung current kong position. Yung mga nabenta ko na, hindi ko na siya nilagay. But, yun. Anyway, you can just check on my previous videos regarding that. So, ito yung aking current ending position. So, meron akong Altus or APVI. Binili ko siya around 10 pesos because I think wala pa kasi akong property. Kasi nabenta ko si Megaworld, so pinalitan ko siya ng APVI. Si Converge, nabili ko lang din siya last week kasi nagfo-form na siya ng possible support area. So, this is a long-term position. Pero hindi ako nag-IPO ng Converge. So, etong dito naman, nabili ko siya. Isa sa mga nauna ko ding nabili last March. Actually, pati din itong si Prutas. Pero itong si Prutas, hati kami ng kapatid ko. So, eto naman si Holcim, nabili ko siya nung nagkaroon ng gap. A few days after that, gap down. But, nag-report na siya ng medyo okay naman yung report, so i-hold ko siya until my TP of around 11 pesos. So, actually, it will fill that gap. So, Jollibee Foods Corporation, hindi sa akin yan, sa kapatid ko na yan. Nabenta ko na yung aking Jollibee shares. And then si Max Group, currently, nakapagbenta ako and then bumili ulit ako. And then si Merrimart Consumer Corporation, yan ay nabili ko siya or nag-subscribe ako ng IPO. So, 1 peso ko yan nabili. Or since nag-subscribe nga ako, edi syempre sa final offer price na around 1 peso. And ang target ko dyan is 10 pesos to 20 pesos. Yun yung actually long-term target ko. Sabi ko nga, when a company is at growth phase is the biggest return. And I'm expecting that to Merrimart. So, that's more or less sa 10 pesos, that's 900%. And sa 20 pesos, that's 1,900% kapag na-hit yung mga prices na yon. Kasi nag-iisip ako kung anong possible stock na makaka-hit ng ganon. I don't think meron at the moment. Kasi nga, kung mapapansin nyo, from the crisis, ang pinaka highest return is 1,000%. So, kung i-divide mo yan, divided by around 9, so at least 111% ka per year. So, that's already a spectacular return. So, next is, ano pa ba? Si Now Corporation, binili ko siya kasi nga nag-expect ako ng property dividends. So, kasi nga nag-disclose sila that they are planning to list Now Telecom by way of introduction. And by way of introduction is, ibig sabihin marami ng holders, yung current, yung i-list nila. So, kaya, yun, ina-expect ko talagang magde-declare yan ng property dividend, and pag nag-list siya, by way of introduction, wala siyang ceiling and floor on the first day. So, anyway, so kung mapapansin nyo, yung mga sa telco, medyo highly exposed ako. Si Dito nandyan, si Converge nandyan na rin, and si Now Corporation. Pero wala ako ng Giants. Kasi para sa akin, yung Globe at saka PLDT or TEL is nag-peak na sila. In my opinion. And of course, meron akong pizza. So, medyo highly exposed din ako sa food. Nandyan na si Max, meron pa si pizza. At nandyan din yung, and anyway, sa holdings, kung mapapansin nyo, holdings is the biggest return nung global financial crisis. Kaya, meron din akong GTC on AGI. Hindi pa na-done yung order ko. And maliban dyan, actually dito kasi is also a holding firm. So, I think that's it. That's my position. Kasi, yeah, bibili ako ng AGI kasi meron pa akong available cash. Wow. So, anyway, let's see kung ma-done siya this week. So, now let's move on to, yun. Analyze natin siya per sector. So, kung mapapansin nyo kanina sa aking total portfolio, the Philippine stocks compose of 15.38% of my total portfolio. So, anyway, ito yung view ko regarding financials. Actually, I don't like it because, yun nga, people will be the future bank, and puntahan natin to. Highly exposed na kasi ako sa cryptocurrencies, and for me, that will be the future. Kaya hindi na ako mag-expose pa sa financials kasi overly exposed na ako eh. So, yeah, that's how I balance it and diversified my portfolio. So, no, I don't want to add more on or buy financial stocks. But anyway, kung sakali mang mag-trade ako on TA lang, so ito yung mga tinitignan ko. Si BDO, it's actually buy. So, ano bang strategy ko dito is buy ako kapag yung risk-reward ratio is greater than 2 or at least 2. And of course, the possible gain is at least 25%. So, paano ko nakuha yung 25%? Balik tayo dito. So, this is it. Ito, divided by 9 years, that's around 38. Oh. I think this is not it. It's not how I compute it. Anyway, let me think on how I compute the 25%. Kasi may basis ako niyan kung bakit ko siya 25% eh. So, yeah, balik na lang ako some other time regarding that 25%. So, tinitignan ko kasi kung paano ko siya na-compute. Oh, I think I compute it this way. This one. Divided by 9. So, that's it. Yeah. Ang kinompute ko kasi is based on my projection. But this one is my TP of 20,500. However, napalitan ko pala siya ng long-term target ko is nasa 17,900. So, nagkaroon lang ako ng ang ginamit ko kasi dito is the closing. But supposedly, ang dapat kong ginamit is the lowest of this NCOV crisis. So, dapat ang ginamit ko 4,000, kaya naging 17,900. So, supposedly, yeah, 20%. But on a conservative note, yeah, mas maganda if I'll just stick to that 25%. So, anyway, let's move on. And kung sakali magbibili ako ng financials or banks is, ito yung tinitingnan ko, si BDO. So, kung mapapansin nyo, pababa pa siya. So, I will buy at support or kapag nasa 86 siya. And yung kanyang RSI is going up. Actually, I use 1 month time frame. And ang resistance na nakikita ko is the 113 area before it retests, of course, the previous highs. But I think medyo matatagalan pa niyang i-retest tong previous highs. So, for now, dun muna ako sa 113 na TP and support around the 86 area. So, for me, it's a buy. So, now let's move on to, wait, it's not that, 86. Oh, I think hindi ko na yung, oh, yeah. So, yun. Oh, i-ano ko lang paste ko lang. Kasi siya Nakalink siya sa PSEI. Anyway. So, the risk-reward ratio ay nasa 8.31. Posible akong kumita ng around 27.11%. So, kaya, of course, kung sakali mang papasok ako sa financials pa, I will buy BDO. Next is si Security Bank. So, let's go on Security Bank. So, kung mapapansin nyo, si Security Bank is actually a widening yung kanyang trend. And meron siya actually ano eh. Yeah, wait, let's check on that. Kasi parang meron siyang tanggalin muna natin to. So this is no. Wala naman pala. So anyway, so ang tinatarget ko for Security Bank is 140 area, this area, and support at around the 81 area. So for me, it's at current price, it's already a buy para sa akin because posible akong kumita ng around 45.23% kapag na-hit yung TP area ko around 140. Please take note na yung ginamit ko dito is the monthly time frame. Kasi normally kapag trading hours, hindi naman kasi ako nagtitingin sa PSEI. For me, it's a long term, kaya monthly na din yung ginamit ko na time frame. Though nag-update ako minsan daily or weekly about the stock market. So I think that's it. Ang tinitingnan ko for financials is BDO and Security Bank. But anyway, you can also check the others. Medyo neutral lang kasi ako dun eh. Kasi it did not hit my risk-reward ratio and at the same time, the possible gain of at least 25%. So next is, ano yung view ko on the industrials? Actually, for me, it's an overweight or it's a buy. Pero on construction, medyo ako dun, medyo neutral ako or parang 50-50. Kailangan, kung meron kang construction, dapat makapag-out ka within 2021. Kasi nga 2022 is election time. And normally, of course, siyempre kapag election is on hold muna yung mga projects. So, yan yung view ko sa industrials. So, ang tinitingnan ko sa industrials is actually, let's check on this one. Si DNL. I mean, this one first. Si CHP. So, loading lang siya. So, eto na si CHP. Kung mapapansin nyo, it's a long-term downtrend, pero nag-breakout na siya to that long-term downtrend. And currently, nag-close siya 1.58 area. Though nakalagay sa akin dun, it's a buy, I will wait for a possible pullback kasi pa-down pa siya eh. It could possibly retest this 1 peso area. Kasi malapit na din yung earnings season. I mean, yung third quarter. Release. I think it already released its earnings. So, yeah. Possibly buy at support or around buy at 1 peso area. And then, TP area ko pa rin is the 2.98. Buy at support area or at 1 peso. So, yun yung sa akin kay CHP. Buy at support. Masyadong eh. So, yeah. I think yan na lang muna ang gagawin ko. So, 36.68. Anyway, kung mapapansin nyo, going down naman yung kanyang RSI. So, of course, expect na bibili ako after, of course, reversal of this RSI. So, anyway, next is, inano ko na siya eh. Nilagay ko na yung link. So, next is si DNL. So, kung mapapansin nyo, si DNL, let's go to that. Hindi ko pala nalagay. But there is, meron siyang ano, it's going up, wait, it's going up while it's going down. So there is a hidden bullish divergence. So yon, di ko pala nalagay dito. So I'll just take note of it next time. So anyway, i-note ko na lang with hidden bullish divergence. So next, so for DNL, yeah, since okay naman yung kanyang RSI, it's still going up at nag-breakout siya. So ang tinitingnan kong TP area ko is the 8.53 area on a monthly time frame. And of course, kung sakali mang mag-breakdown siya, yung 4.66 area ang tinitignan kong support or possibly stop loss kung nakapag or bumili ako at this area of around 6.23. So, buy ako on DNL. So, next is si EEI. So, check natin si EEI. So, for me, EEI is currently trading at 7.18. So, possibly, pwede ko siyang intayin dito sa 6.0 na before I go long. Ang target ko is around the 11.11 pesos. And stop loss at 4.48. So, for me, it's a buy. Pero for construction, yeah, sabi ko nga kanina, kailangan mag-risk off within next year. Kasi pag umabot ka ng 2022, possibly, medyo bababa siya kasi nga wala masyadong projects. So, next is seafood. Another buy is seafood. So, kung mapapansin nyo, it's flat lang yung kanyang flat lang yung kanyang RSI. Pero tingin ko it's already, this area is a strong support area. Kaya for me, kung magpo-pull back siya, for me, it's a buy. Or even, actually, even at current levels na around 65 cents, for me, it's already a buy. However, syempre, kailangan mo lang siyang antayin. Ako naman nakakapag-antay. But, yeah, since okay na yung portfolio ko, I think, yeah, tingin na lang ako. So, yun. 100% ko na kasing may-utilize yung capital ko kapag bumili pa ako ng HEI. Kapag nadaan siya. So, anyway. So, yun yung tinitignan ko kay food. Actually, trade ko to nun para at this area nung mga nag-trade pa ako sa stock market. I mean, nag-trade pa rin naman ako ngayon. Pero dati kasi is talagang sa stock market ako nag-trade. So, yun. And next is ito pa. Isa pa. After seafood, of course, si Jollibee. Kung napansin nyo naman, there's actually a bullish divergence also for Jollibee shares. JFC. Meron rin siyang bullish divergence. This is going up and this is going down. So that's actually a hidden divergence. With hidden bullish divergence. So yan, nilagay ko lang yung kanyang note. And ang target ko actually, long-term target ko talaga is to hit the all-time high of around the 320 or 325 area. Pero pwede namang mag-TP at this area sa 256. Yun yung tinitignan ko on a long-term basis. And of course, yung support na tinitignan ko is the 144 area. Actually, yung isa sa mga affiliate niya ay bumibili around, I think, nag-start sila September 24. So, nag-start sila mga, I think, 134 area. And after nun is, saka siya umakyat. And currently now at 170 area. So, tingin ko, kung sakali mang i-release yung kanilang third quarter earnings and pangit, I think it's an opportunity to buy. So, yun yung kay JFC. So, actually, meron yan yung kapatid ko. But yung sa akin is, na-dispose ko na siya. So, after ni JFC is si Max. So, currently naman, nakita nyo naman yung holdings ko. May nabenta na akong Max nun eh. And then, nag-buyback ulit ako. So, chine-check ko lang siya. Actually, meron siyang meron siya actually Max. Let's check on it. Meron rin siyang hidden bullish divergence. So, eto siya. Going up and this is going down. So, meron din siya. Wait lang, ilagay ko din dito. Para hindi ko makalimutan. Plus, hidden bullish divergence. So, si Max meron rin hidden bullish divergence. So, actually, ang target ko kay Max is sa 9.94 area. But actually, personally, ang target ko niyan around the 26 area eh. Kasi meron siyang triangle dito. However, syempre, pwede naman akong mag-TP at 9.94 area. And then, buyback na lang ulit ako kapag nag-pullback. Anyway, it's a hidden bullish divergence. So, possibly, I'm more bullish on it. At kapag nag-breakout sa 9.94, possibly retest the 16 pesos area. And ang support na nakikita ko is the 4.30 pesos. So, yun yung kay Max. Actually, ang profit ko dyan, ilang percentage pa? If I'm not mistaken, 50% profit yung Max ko eh. Yung nabenta ko na. And then, nag-buyback kasi ako eh. So, anyway, let's move on to the next, si Megawide. So, on construction, sabi ko nga, dapat 2021, kailangan makapag-risk off na. Else, since maraming projects na madidelay or wala na masyadong, pause muna yung construction or yung mga projects. So, syempre, maapektuhan din yung earnings nila. So, kailangan, di ba meron akong hawak na Holcim, so ang plano ko talaga dun is at least ma-risk off ko siya by next year. Kasi nga ngayon, yung si Holcim ang actually pinaka-biggest loser ko sa portfolio ko dito. Si Converge, actually lugi na din ng konti. Pero at least hindi siya ganun kasing laki na itong si Holcim. Kasi si Holcim, nabili ko siya around 8 pesos. So, yun. Pero Holcim is just a minimal part of this, of my total dito sa PSEI. Buti na lang, maliit lang yung binili ko. Anyway, for Megawide, it's actually trending higher, yung kanyang RSI, and yeah, I think it's already at the support area. So, ang nakikita kong support, the 6.30 pesos, and possible resistance at 11.42 area. So, possibly a 52.27% gain. So, next naman doon is after Megawide is si Picor. Pero si Picor kasi, ano siya, nasa long-term downtrend pa rin siya kasi si Picor. Pero I think na-hit na niya tong bottom. Kung sakali mang magkaroon pa ng yun na yung pinakamababa kaya nilagyan ko siya ng arrow. It's already the lowest using the monthly time frame. So, tingin ko naman is it's already forming or at support area. But, syempre, if it or bumalik pa siya sa 2.35, that's for me a much better price to buy. And of course, yung target ko pa rin is nasa around 6.03. So, kailangan mo lang siyang antayin kasi syempre, transportation is slowly or the economy is slowly opening up. Though on the transportation side, hindi ako ganun pa-bullish. Kaya kung nakita nyo, yeah, more or less dito lang siya within the long-term downtrend, yung tina-target ko na TP area. But regardless, dalawa pa lang na-open ko. That's still a possible 95% gain kung sakali mang ma-hit yung TP area ko. And yeah, possible loss naman na 23.45 kung sakaling pumunta siya or bumaba pa siya sa 1.05. So, after Picor is syempre si pizza. Currently, meron akong pizza. Meron na din akong nabentang pizza and then bumuli pa din ako. Diba? Natitrade ko pa din kahit papaano. No? Pero hindi kasi ako daily nagtitingin. Hindi. Kasi pag daily, napapansin nyo is, ba't nandito sa ATH? And ano to? Okay. Nag-ano kasi ako kanina. Nag-live. 13.5 na. So, yun. Check natin yan. So, si Shakey's naman, ayun. Target ko is ang laki ng candle niya ngayong month. It's actually check natin. Wala ata siyang wick. Very bullish. I mean pizza. Hindi. Meron naman siyang wick. Anyway, for pizza, ang target ko nasa 9.92 pesos. And of course, for me, tingin ko naman is going up. Possibly a long-term bullish. Long-term bullish ako sa mga foods. Kaya, meron na akong Max, meron akong pizza, meron pa akong CJFC para sa kapatid ko lang kasi yun. So, highly exposed ako sa food. So, next, it's also a buy para sa akin si pizza. Next is, after pizza, puntahan natin itong si tech. However, antayin ko muna siyang mag-support or buy at support ako. Kasi pababa pa yung kanyang monthly candle. Ganon din yung kanyang RSI, pababa din So, might as well, antayin ko siyang magkaroon ng strong support base. But for me, tech is definitely a buy. But wait for a better price or at least reversal of the trend on a monthly time frame. But anyway, pwede nyo naman siyang tignan-tignan on a daily or the weekly time frame. Kaso kasi tinignan ko kasi is the long-term view ng chart. So for now, it's buy at support. Buy at support or at reversal ako sa tech. So next is the last one is si Vita. Mostly TA lang to TA. So si Vita, it's currently, tingin ko it's already at the strong support area. It could possibly retest the 1.11 area and a stop loss of 0.74 area. So, yun yung kay Vita. Actually, nung trade ko din to dati. Around this area siguro, mga 2,000 something. Dito sa area na to. So, after nyan is, yun. Now, let's move on to the property. So, kung mapapansin nyo, property is the second best performer or highest return next to holding firms based on the average of the two previous crises. So, now let's check on kung ano yung tinitignan ko na property. So, currently ang property na hawak ko, sabi ko nga, wala siya dyan CAPVI. Dati may hawak ko kung MEG pero nabenta ko na siya. So anyway, let's check on this one, si Bell. So si Bell Corporation, it's actually a bullish divergence. So ang tinitignan kong TP area is the 1.99 and support area or stop loss area at 1.32 area. Currently, medyo mababa yung kanyang RSI, monthly RSI, nasa 28.56 area lang siya. And it's going up. So, posible akong kumita ng around the 42%. So, next is, after nyan ay neutral, buy again sa DMW. Actually, eto, DMW, nag-IPO, nalaman ko yung IPO niya, pero hindi ako nag-IPO. It's actually a pababang triangle and normally a pababang triangle is actually bullish. Pero, and currently, tingin ko it's already at support area. So, ang tinitignan kong resistance or TP area, at least the previous resistance. Bago niya i-retest itong mismong resistance sa mismong triangle. So, 6.91 ang TP area ko and 5.01 ang aking stop loss area or at support area. So, I think that's it. Posible akong kumita ng 28.20%. Pero, yung 28% parang medyo mababa siya. But, kasi ang ano ko dito is, strategy ko is at least naman 2 yung risk reward and a profit of at least 25% nga naman. So, pasok pa rin naman siya. Though hindi siya ganun kataas versus the rest. So, next, tingnan natin is this one. Si Philinvest. So, during early days, trade ko din tong si Philinvest So, ang tinitingnan kong strong resistance area na is at 1.23 area. For me, 90 cents is already the strong support area. So, tinitingnan ko. Actually, there is wait, check natin. Fly. Check ko lang Because there is a bullish or a hidden bullish divergence. So, ilagay ko lang siya dito. Plus hidden bullish divergence. So, yun yung tinitignan ko dito kay FLY. Next is C-House. 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 Yeah, actually meron din siyang hidden bullish divergence, and yeah, possibly ang tinitignan kong resistance area is the 10.10 and support at 6.78 area. And kung makikita nyo, ang RSI niya is going up. Okay din pala to, ano. Pero yeah, tingnan natin kung magkano yung posible kong kitain. It's 31%. Possibly 31%. So, next na buy ko is si VLL. Ano bang last? Oo. Yeah, actually, nung mga nag-attend pa ako, normally, yung analyst briefing is sa tapat ng Shangri-La, yung hotel doon. Nakalimutan ko na yung hotel sa tapat eh. Yung meron siyang fountain sa ano ba yun? Manila Pen. Yeah, Manila Pen. Normally itong nito. Si Vistaland. Manila Peninsula, normally yung kanyang briefing. But anyway, actually meron din siyang a regular bullish divergence. So, ang tinitignan kong resistance or TP area ko is at 4.59 and support area around 3.01. So, kung mapapansin nyo, it could possibly trade within this range, and yeah, tingin ko it's already at support or medyo nag-bounce na siya near that support area. So, tingin ko it's bound to continue the possible uptrend. So, 4.59 yung immediate TP area ko. So, yon yung mga buy ko sa property. But currently, wala akong property na nakalist dito kasi yung sa akin is si APVI. So, binili ko si APVI kasi tingin ko malaki yung possible upside. Nabili ko siya around 10 pesos. Ang fair value na nakita or na-compute ni Deloitte is around 10.10. So, dun ko siya more or less nabili. So, next is sa holding. So, ang general view ko sa holding is, this is the best sector during the global financial crisis with 1,000% return. So, of course, generally, it's a buy para sa akin. Pero ang tinitignan ko, as you can see here, is the AGI. Kasi nga, yung ending cash balance ko pala is nanggaling kay MegaWorld. So, hindi ko pa siya binili after kung siyang nabenta. So, now, yun. After this computation kasi is, yeah, talagang tinitignan ko yung holding firms. So, yan, nag-decide ako na bumili ng AGI. And of course, yung previous video ko din, di ba? Siyempre, kung ano yung mga sinasabi ko din, edi siyempre, yun din yung mga tinitignan ko personally. Pero, of course, hindi siya yung pang day trade. Normally, for me, it's a long-term trade kasi, yeah, medyo focus ako ngayon sa Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So, ito, pang chill lang. Kasi ako, masaya na kasi ako sa trades ko. Kasi, syempre, ang kinakompare ko sa performance ko is, of course, the PSEI. Nakapasok ako more or less sa mababa, diba? So, of course, yun, medyo mataas siya. Actually, mas mataas pa siya sa, it's a triple-digit growth. So, yun. Mas mataas pa siya sa, at least, ina-expect ko na 25% per annum. So, masaya na ako. Kaya, chill na lang ako dyan. Chill na lang ako. Kaya, napapansin nyo, tinitignan ko pa rin kay Bitcoin kahit na nagre-record ako ng video. So anyway, let's move on to this. Yan. Oh, I mean this sector index sa holding firm. So si AGI, so yan, and it's also a hidden bullish divergence. So ang target ko initially is the 12 pesos area. Kasi yun yung nakikita kong strong resistance area. And then after nun ay possibly the 16 pesos area. Bago yung all-time high around the 31 area. Medyo long-term bullish naman ako sa PSEI eh. So I think it's one of the tingin ko undervalued stocks na may malaking growth potential. Anyway, ang tinitingnan kong support area around 6.90. So, puntahan natin siya, AGI. Kasi ang price ko is 7.30 area. Pero hindi ko ginamit yung monthly, but instead, I use the daily. Kasi nagpa-post, I mean the weekly. Kasi nagpa-post ako last Friday. So, dito ko siya pinapost. That's around this area, the 7.30. And it's a GTC. So, antayin ko na lang siya na madan. So, let's see kung madadan ako dyan. So, anyway, posible akong kumita ng around 51%. Kung sakaling ma-hit yung TP area ko. So, next after nyan is this one. Si DMC. Oh. DMC? Is this DMC? Yeah, DMC. So, si DMC, yun. Isa din sa mga tinitignan kong stocks. However, yeah, since yung perang pambili ko galing kay Megaworld, yung nabenta kong Megaworld shares, kaya si AGI din yung pinili ko. And yeah, I think mas malaki yung possible upside niya versus the other holding firm. But anyway, kung makikita nyo, si DMC, meron din siyang a bullish hidden divergence. So, currently, mababa pa rin naman siya at 4.39. And kung napansin nyo, dinagdag ko yung dividend yield kasi DMC is one of the stock na nagbibigay ng magandang dividend. So, yun naman yung advantage nitong si DMC. So, anyway, ang tinitignan kong resistance is the 6.48 area and support or around 3.70. So, posible akong kumita ng around 47.61 kung sakaling bumili ako nito at ma-hit yung target area ko. Now, let's move on to the next, which is si LPZ. So, actually, LPZ is the biggest dito sa holdings. However, hindi ko siya pinili because yan, medyo tingin ko yung third quarter niya is, yeah, of course, baka mas disappointing this quarter. So, hindi ko siya pinili. At saka si AGI kasi meron siyang buyback eh. So, at least may support from management. Kaya yun yung pinili ko. Ito kasi wala siyang I mean si LPZ, very sad. Yeah, LPZ, wala kasi siyang naka-allot or naka-appropriate na pang-share buybacks. Kasi kung talagang nasa support area na siya, of course, kung the company will support its stock. So, anyway, meron din siyang hidden bullish divergence. So, ang tinitingnan kong support area, possibly 2.17 and a target at around 3.98 area. So, let's see. So, that's another buy para sa akin. Yeah, kasi and si MPI, yeah, pinag-iisipan ko din sana si MPI eh. Meron din kasi siyang share buyback. However, yun nga, napili ko na si AGI. Anyway, let's see na lang. Actually, it's also a hidden bullish divergence. Parang parang mostly hidden bullish divergence. So, possibly, ang tinitignan kong next resistance, 5.22 and support at around 3.71. And please take note na si MPI, if I'm not mistaken, average nila is 3.94 last week. Hindi ko kasi kinompute yung kanilang ngayon average share buyback cost. So, anyway, at 5.22 TP area, posible akong kumita ng around 30% kapag na-hit yung TP area ko. At posible naman akong malugi ng 7.73% kapag na-stop out around 3.70 pesos. So, now let's move on sa services. Last two sector. So, sa services, kung mapapansin nyo, meron na akong, actually dati meron akong pure gold, kaso nabenta ko na siya. Currently, I'm holding now and, now. And, I'm just checking. Dati bumili ako ng STI, kaso binenta ko na din siya. So, I think that's it. See, now, ang meron ako sa services. So, let's check on this. See, Bloom. So, si Bloom naman, this one. So, si Bloom, meron din siyang hidden bullish divergence. Kaso, at the moment kasi, mukhang nag-resist siya. So, wait for pullback at reversal of this bearish trend. So, possibly antayin ko siya dito sa around close to 6 pesos or 5.60 before I will buy. Ang target ko around the 8.21 area. And support at 5.60 area. So, I think yun lang masasabi ko dito kay Bloomberry. So, it's for me, posible akong kumita around 27% kapag na-hit yung TP area ko at 8.21. So, next is, si LR. Parang mga more on sa mga, si LR naman, currently, pababa siya. So, for me, it's, antayin muna natin siyang magkaroon ng or mag-establish ng strong support base. Though currently, it's already a buy para sa akin. Sorry. So, mali. At ACAGI pala to. So, anyway, sorry about that. Si LR pala is actually going up and could possibly retest the next resistance at around 3.30. Ang support area na tinitingnan ko is the 1.05. So, yun lang yung masasabi ko kay LR. So, for me, it's also a buy. So, next is, after LR is this one, si Macro Asia naman. So, kung mapapansin nyo, it's also a hidden bullish divergence. So, ang tinitingnan kong possible next resistance or TP area at 7.61. Posible akong kumita ng around 49 pesos, 49% kapag na-hit yung TP area ko around 7.60 area. So, now let's move on to the next. So, kung mapapansin nyo, this is MRSGI. However, meron na kasi akong meron akong Merry March. So, I will not no longer expose to this. But anyway, nasa long-term downtrend siya. But seems like kakaroon na siya ng support area dito. But worst case, posibleng i-retest niya tong downtrend area. But since pa-up na din naman yung RSI, possibly it will retest first this 2.32. So, posible akong kumita ng 60%. So, next is Sinao Corporation. So, actually, yeah, meron ako nito kasi dun ako sa undervalued na telco. Yeah, in my opinion. Anyway, binili ko siya kasi I'm expecting a property dividend of Now Telecom. And kapag syempre nag-declare sila ng property dividend, makukuha ko siya ng libre, and at the same time, wala siyang, kapag na-list, wala siyang ceiling and floor sa first day. So, ang in-expect ko for Now Corporation is to hit a TP area of 9.98 or possibly 10 pesos. And support at 3.67 area. So, actually, itong mga hold ko, long term, and pwede ko naman siyang i-dispose kung sa tingin ko kita na ako. So, for stock market, currently wala akong cut loss area. Why? Kasi, tingin ko naman is manageable naman siya. I mean, performing well naman din yung mga napili ko. Though meron akong red or negative territory na si Holcim, and isama mo na din si Converge. Long term kasi yung tinitignan ko, which is to hit the 12,100 or the 17,000 area, which is na-explain ko kanina dito sa PSEI, 17,900. So, yun yung mga target area ko. Or kapag na-reach niya yung PER of around the 22 area. So, that's already the time to rest off. So, next is, yun yung Kainao. And after ng Kainao is si Pure Gold. Oh, and I mean, no, yeah. Pure Gold. Actually, yeah, meron ako nito. Pumili ako nung March 25, isa sa mga nabili ko. However, nabenta ko na siya. At if I'm not mistaken, around 40% profit. So, currently, yeah, antayin ko muna siya sa support area of around 35 pesos or 36. Kasi nga, that's 2 months na downtrend area. The bearish candle siya. So, antayin natin siya na mag-reverse or magkaroon ng strong support base. So, for now, antay-antay na lang muna ako dito kay Pure Gold. But, yeah, since meron na akong Merrymark, most likely, hindi na ako mag-a-add up pa or magbabay pa ng Pure Gold. But, if ever may additional pa akong cash, yeah, why not? Yun lang. But, siguro, small percentage na lang kasi meron na akong exposure sa retail. So, yeah, I think that's it. Ang target ko kay Pure Gold is to retest back the 54 area. And currently, the support na tinitingnan ko around the 36 area. So, yun. And next is si SSI. Yeah, I think previously, na-discuss ko na din siya in my previous video. That's actually a regular bullish divergence. Possibly next resistance 2.32 and the support around 0.96. Ang ganda pala oh. Hindi ako nakabili nito. Samantalang nag-up na rin siya. So anyway, that's still a possible 77%. Kung sakaling ma-hit yung TP area ko at 2.32 area. And then next is next na tinitignan ko is si STI. Ayun. Dati, bumili ako neto. However, yeah, nakapagbenta na ako. At nilipat ko kasi sa ibang stocks. But anyway, on a monthly time frame, maganda rin pala yung nagsasummarize ako, Anyway, yun. Nagsasummarize sa spreadsheet. So, ang tinitingnan kong resistance area or TP area around the point 59.6 and support at 0.25. So, there. At saka mababa pa yung kanyang RSI around the 30 area. And it's going up. So, posible pala akong kumita ng around 75%. Malaki din in fairness. And the last in this services sector is TOGS. Naalala ko to kasi nung nag-IPO ko nitong si TOGS, first day binenta ko na siya. Tapos after nun, wala na. Ang kulit lang. Anyway, at least nakabenta kasi ako ng first day. Kasi, yun. And yeah, I think that's it. So, kung mapapansin nyo, it's a solid breakout from the previous support or resistance at 0.96. Solid breakout and possibly retest the next possible resistance around 2.22. Yun yung target area ko or TP area. And of course, yung tinitignan kong support, which is the previous resistance dati, ay 0.96 area. So, yun, it's also a buy. Around 64% ang posible kong kitain if my TP got hit. So, anyway, this is the last sector, the mining and oil. Since I'm already trading sa gold, sa commodities, gold, silver, and oil, and even natural gas, hindi na ako mag-expose pa dito sa, or magkakaroon pa ng additional exposure dito sa mining and oil stocks. So, dun na lang ako sa global markets. But anyway, kung sakali mang mag-trade ako, ang tinitignan ko is si APX, but generally bullish ako sa mining and oil. So, it's actually a hidden, or a regular bullish divergence. So, next possible resistance na tinitignan ko kay APX is the 3.68 pesos. And of course, the support or stop loss around 1.42 area. So, yun lang yung kay APX. And now, let's move on to the next, which is FNI. So, FNI, meron din siyang share buyback. If I'm not mistaken, yung kanilang average ay nasa 2.33 area. So, yun yung posible mong maging possible target. But, ang nilagay ko dito is, around the 2.39 area, ang typical. And it's going up. So, RSI at 46 area. And, yeah, possible support, or ang support na tinitignan ko around the 82 cents. And yeah, meron pa kasi silang natirang share buyback. So, possibly, syempre, supportahan pa rin nila yung stock nila once it's go lower than this 1.32 area. Mataas pa nga yung kanilang share buyback prices. So, pwede pang mag-enter in my opinion. So, next is PX. So, yun. Uy, 13,500. Anyway, so si Felix naman, or si PX, so nag-breakout na siya dito sa resistance na 3.78 and currently trading 5.59. So, ang tinitingnan kong next possible resistance is this area, the 9.19 area, or close to 10 pesos. And the support is the 3.78 area. So, for it, normally generally, I'm bullish to mining and oil. Kasi kung mapapansin nyo, the gold is, medyo nag-correct lang yung gold, but still high versus syempre, the previous years. So, yeah, I think that's it. So, and I hope it will help you in making your own a balanced and diversified portfolio. So, anyway, itong mga links, i-share ko na lang siya dito sa videos kasi medyo limited kasi yung pwede kong maisulat sa dito sa Instagram group. Parang ilang characters lang eh. So, I'd rather post it na lang dito sa YouTube. Pero yan pala yung hindi, pinost ko lang, nanonood kasi ako kanina kasi ginagawa ako ng video. Anyway, that's it guys. So, see you again bukas and start of another month. So, yun. Tinitingnan ko for this month naman na catalyst is, of course, the earnings pa rin, US election, and of course, anyway, for the US election, it's actually positive kasi tinignan namin during my live session dito sa TradingView about this Dow Jones. Uy, up na siya ng 500 points. Ito kasi, it's normally for that month of November, for every US election, is up siya ng around 6%. So, for me, it's normally positive or generally positive. So, hope na ganun din yung mangyari sa PSEI. And the last catalyst is, of course, our GDP on November 10. So, let's see. So, disclaimer lang guys, or mahalagang paalala, I'm not offering any financial advice kasi trading and investing have risk, so please always do your own research and trade cautiously. Thanks guys!